Hey everybody, welcome back to the HIT.OR.DIE podcast with your hosts Jake Saldati and Chad Rothford. Glorious Monday afternoon.
Finally got like some wet weather this morning. Not ready. I mean, it's been kind of a warm fall thus far. So weather's starting to change. It's been a couple weeks, dude. We've been slacking or just life.
Or busy.
Mainly what it is. Last week we were gonna go, and then some work came up wise, so we couldn't go. So I apologize to everybody for that. Coach Bob Knight, though, dude, you see that?
Yeah.
I know we're not a basketball podcast, but legendary coach. In 83 years old, won I think 3 national championships as a head coach. I remember him going through that stuff with the player back in the day, you know, putting his hands on a guy. Just always very vocal guy. Were you a fan of Coach Knight?
Yeah.
You liked that hard style type coaching?
Yeah, if I deserve it.
I think I saw one, too, where a player from Alabama was getting lit up, and he'd mentioned, like, you got to be able to take it. Like, it's not... if the coach isn't on you, like, you know, it was a good clip. I should have pulled it up, but
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
he was like a receiver or cornerback or something.
Yeah, got lit up, but kind of came out in the post game and was just like, yeah, like, you know, he's coming to me, you know, and I had it coming, and you just got to be able to be coached. You know, it's that's what good teams do, though. Like, you know, good players, and they're all coachable dudes, and pretty much that's what he was saying. I think that was what Coach Knight, you know, hard guy to play for. Was going to hold you accountable, and you know, I think even as an analyst over the years, calling games and doing stuff like that, he was pretty vocal about certain things, and but definitely a legend in the coaching game. And so yeah, R.I.P. to Coach Knight. But baseball wise, Rangers win the World Series. They get best of the Diamondbacks in 5 games, 4 games to 1. Finished 11-0 on the road. And 2-4 at home, which is just crazy, dude. I don't think anybody the win 11 in a row on the road in that kind of in those environments and out of the wild card to the division. I don't think anybody would have expected that. One of those wins at home during the World Series was Game 1, which to me, you know, out of all 5 games was probably the most entertaining.
Well, you got to win Game 1.
Right, but I mean in the fashion that the Rangers won it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, down late. Well, shit, wasn't the 9th?
No
the
walk-off.
8th. When Corey Seager tied it.
Yeah, was it off Seawald then?
I believe it was. I want to say it was the 9th, right? You know, and we talk about like moments and stuff, and some of those shots from behind home plate, from just different angles from I think there was one from the umpire. Like, there was a few different angles, and I was just like, dude, you see the crowd and how many people there, like, to be in those moments. It's no wonder they're big leaguers. But like you were saying, remember we were talking about being a, you know, elite at one sport, and you stayed with baseball. It's like for moments like that, and you see how many, just those people going crazy. Like, it gives me chills, dude. It makes the hair stand up. I don't know how you felt about the World Series or certain games in particular, but just your take after, you know, now that it's all said and done, season's wrapped up, and we have a winner.
I definitely would have liked to see the Phillies, Rangers. But like,
what did Philly bring? I mean, obviously,
they just bring more star power to the game, you know.
Because I have something to that point, but go. I want you to elaborate.
Yeah, you're probably gonna say that the home run, like, it was nice to watch the Diamondbacks play like baseball, like old school baseball, which was. But I don't know. Baseball's baseball. Anybody could win any day. So I thought it was a good World Series. I'm glad the Rangers won because I like Corey Seager. He's a good leader. He's not really a vocal person on social media or anything, so I kind of like that. He kind of stays in.
Were you surprised at the chirp back after the parade towards?
No, that was awesome.
Because I mean, you say he's not that kind of dude. He doesn't.
It even looked like he really didn't want to say it.
Yeah,
because
like he
almost was turning before he even
walking
finished
away.
But and obviously for Boach to win it, and then just Boach solidified how good of a manager he is in my eyes after he answered Derek Jeter's question, just about the culture. And like, it's almost like when we talk to Batesall, like, why do the Fresno State guys never talk about themselves? They always talk about their team and stuff. And that's, like he said, that's how you win, you know? So, honestly, it could have been 4-1, 5-0. I don't care. Or 4-0. I was glad the Rangers won and Bochy got another one.
I think, I think you're right. I think a lot of people probably would have enjoyed that Phillies matchup. You got to give credit to the Diamondbacks because they did the same thing coming through the wild card, not expecting to get out of even the wild card, let alone go and beat the Dodgers. Mm-hmm. And then to turn around and get through Philly and having to win game 6 and 7 in Philly, like you can't not give them credit and the run they made. I think, it came down to some little things late and some pitching. Gallen kind of struggled all kind of postseason, really. And then in game 5, he was actually really good. Mm-hmm. In fact, I think we talked about there was a situation there when, like in the 6th, and a 0-0 game, they made a mound visit and left him in, gave up a 2-run single, and pulled him, right after that, I think, or he got one more bat. That might have been it for him. And just kind of the conversation always leads, well, should he have taken him out? And it's like, no, it's game 5. He's not coming back for game 7.
No.
So burn him, and that's your best opportunity right there. Like, if you bring in a guy out of the pen and he gives up the same 2-run single, everybody's just going to be like, well, you should have left your guy in. So I think there's some things there pitching-wise that maybe they'll look back, or, some of the runs they left on base. There's a lot of strikeouts those last 2 games for Arizona, especially looking, where they just didn't have really a lot of competitive ABs, in my opinion. But I don't think they're going anywhere. Pretty young team. Probably need to make some moves, maybe get some more arms in there. Which, again, you talk about Texas, like just going back to the Rangers, like to not have DeGrom, to not really have Scherzer down the stretch when they needed it, and then for, parts of the postseason, Scherzer, and he really wasn't great.
No.
He chewed up some innings, but Valdi was fantastic. Texas, it was just great, man. It was a fun series, a little different. I said that about, when you were talking about wanting to see Philly, the Rangers' 5-0 victory over Arizona was their first championship, was Wednesday, drew the largest audience of the World Series. So of 2023's World Series, Game 5 was the largest or most watched. But out of the 5-game series, this was the least watched on the record for recorded TV history.
This World Series. And maybe it was a matchup thing. You have, obviously, football going on as well. So I don't know what's due to that. I want to just blame the teams, but maybe you can. I don't know. I guess. I mean, I was looking at that too. I think they popped that up, and
because I had not looked up until yesterday, I think.
I just think the Diamondbacks, there's not really a lot, instead of the state of Arizona, there's not really Diamondbacks fans. I mean, I think that can be an honest opinion, that there's not many Diamondbacks fans in Florida and
throughout the country.
Texas,
yeah,
100%. I mean,
that's not. Yeah, that's fair to say. Absolutely.
So you definitely have all of Texas watching it, all of Arizona, and then probably just the people that want Bochy to win one, or that like Seager, or you know what I mean, people that like the players from the Rangers, I guess.
Well, you didn't really have like a hated team.
No.
Like the Astros in there is easy, when the Braves and the Astros played, or Astros playing anybody in today's game, as you know, is you just didn't have that team. Mm-hmm. Last year was another, want the Phillies to lose, or the Astros to lose. Like you had those teams, those somewhat rivalries, or you just didn't really have a hateable team in the World Series. So for most people, it probably looked on paper kind of boring. It was the lowest fall classic in recorded TV history. And again, Boch did get number 4 one of, I think, 6 managers to have more than 4 or more World Series titles. Those all are Hall of Fame managers: Casey Stengel, Joe McCarthy, Connie Mack, Walter Alston, Joe Torre, and now Bruce Bochy. So pretty impressive, dude, considering he took the Padres, 3 with the Giants, and in year 1 after a few years off. They said his last year was it 2019 when he finished with the Giants. So to get there in year 1 with Texas, and we've talked about it on here, like, you know, we've kind of been critical of all these players, these big name players getting these contracts and all this money and none of them producing. And you kind of finally saw some big contracts produce. Not that Philly hasn't had success with, you know, Harper's contract and Turner's contract now and getting to the NLCS. But Seager got a lot of money. Simeon got a lot of money. Gray got a lot of money. They spent some money. And instead, I guess you could say, instead of the high price names or the name value, they got the right players. And maybe Bochy's a lot too. He won't. I mean, you've read some of the interviews, you've seen some of the, like, it's all the credit to the front office. You know, I read one where he's like, I was just along for the ride. But you finally saw some contracts where these organizations kind of reap the reward of the money they spent. So I don't think Texas is going anywhere. No. I don't know what the offseason does look like as far as maybe bullpen. There's other things in there that they're going to look at. So we'll have to see. But again, I back to Arizona too. I don't think Arizona's going anywhere. There's some really good young talent. I don't know who's free agent market there. I haven't even started that process of the offseason. But again, I thought it was a good World Series. Was it, you know, if you had another game 1 in there somewhere or like that, where it was that electric, and that's what people want. But again, for baseball fans, I think it was a good World Series. I think people enjoyed it. I think there was some back and forth. You know, I think Game 4, Texas went up big early, and Arizona still found a way to chip away and kind of make a game out of it. So it wasn't all bad. But again, to the people that just want to watch, they may not care who's in the World Series. They want to see excitement and all that stuff. So it is what it is. You know, news after the World Series finished. Well, I think Dusty announced it. Was it after the World Series?
I think it was after.
Maybe just to give respect to the other teams in it, or is it right after the ALCS ended? I think it was.
Maybe it was right
before, just prior to the World Series starting. Dusty Baker announced his retirement of the Houston Astros managerial position. What were your thoughts when you saw that? Surprised? I think he said it was 70, 74, 73, 74. Was the oldest manager in Major League Baseball?
Yes and no. Like, so I mean, he got his World Series finally. Had a good run. I don't know. Maybe he wants to watch his kid play. I don't know.
Well, he was talking about like missing time, like with all the stuff we've been through, but at a much, much larger scale, right? I mean, it's an 8-9 month season, and you know it really never ends, honestly. And he's done it for as many years as he's done it. Like it was, I just remember watching the interview and he was talking about things he's missed, things he doesn't want to miss anymore, and it's great. I mean, he's definitely given more than he's needed to the game. So to see him win at least last year was awesome. So yeah, I mean, but another vacancy now. You know, you had one get filled with the Giants. You shake your head.
Yeah, I mean, nothing against Bob Melvin. I think he's a good manager and he's done good, but I mean, he couldn't even win in San Diego with the talent he had. And, you know, maybe he's not a coach that can control egos, which I know the Giants don't have egos because they have a bunch of AAA baseball players. But
do you think, okay, so again, and this is where like that debate you can have with manager and players, because I think there's some truth to that. I don't think Melvin's a bad manager at all.
No, I don't.
But I don't know what the dynamic was like in that Padres clubhouse. I would love to talk to Ben Fritz, and see, you know, I mean, obviously that's stuff that would never leave the clubhouse. No. But, you know, like, was it too much for any manager? Does Bochy have the same problems? Because that team, I mean, is on paper, your eyes pop out of your head.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously the results were not what they were looking for.
Yeah.
So is it a managerial problem or is it a personnel problem?
I think it kind of has to be both. But then again, I don't know, because look what the Phillies did last year with Girardi, and then after Girardi, and what the Rangers were before Bochy stepped in. And
but also, what does it say maybe that he was so – because I thought he was staying. I thought even Melvin came out and even said, like, hey, I'm staying in San Diego.
Because he was only there for 1 year, right?
It was a couple. No, he was there for – he's been there for a minute. But to leave that, to leave some of that roster back, to go to a new club where you kind of don't know what the future holds and the moves that are going to be made with the Giants,
Mm-hmm.
That kind of says a lot to me too. Like maybe the culture as an organization's not right.
Yeah, that could be it. Again, those are things that we'll probably never know. But I don't know. I just thought, maybe the Giants would go with ex-player. I know Bob Melvin's an ex-player, but just like something kind of fresh. But then again, I was thinking they just did that with Kapler, and it didn't work out. So maybe they're trying to get somebody older in there. But I just don't know if Melvin's the guy for that. I don't know. I was hoping to see like a DeRosa.
It's your guy.
I just think he's old school and new school. He's
willing to give some things a shot.
Yes.
I've seen that.
And
because initially, like, a couple years ago when I first started watching MLB Network a lot in the morning, especially, and just hearing them talk about certain things, it was like, yeah, he was definitely set in his ways a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And as the years have gone by, he's evolved a little bit. And then you see what he, have some success in the baseball classic with a bunch of all-stars, that
players we grew up watching.
Right, but handled it and handled himself well, I thought, as well. I don't know what he's capable of throughout an entire MLB season, but is it worth a look?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I was on him. I like the Stephen Vogt thing with the Giants, but I just read that he.
Yeah, so you walk in here today because I looked this morning and I saw I had seen no updates on the Mets, on Cleveland, and now San Diego's open, now Houston's open, and I hadn't seen anything. And you walked in, and like, did you see it already? And I'm like, what are you talking about? So who is where?
Stephen Vogt's with the Indians. Or Guardians, sorry, should be the Cleveland Indians. And Craig Counsell's with the Cubs.
Which kind of
I don't know. David Ross was there for 2 years, or
did he resign?
I don't know.
Did he fire him?
All I know is that
because we started recording, just so people know, when Chad said that, we started recording. So I have not even looked into it yet.
Yeah, I don't
with
know.
David Ross and the Cubs. I mean, again, another situation where what is he supposed to do?
Yeah, he didn't have much to work with.
Didn't have a whole lot. No. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. I'm actually surprised about the Craig Counsell thing that he would want to go there after what he's done in Milwaukee. I'm surprised Milwaukee would want to let him go.
Well, and his name was linked to the Mets. Like everything I saw and everything I was reading was like, oh, that the Mets that's gonna be their guy. The Counsell's gonna go. They're gonna pay him. So I was kind of definitely surprised to see that.
And then the Cubs said, no, we're going to pay you. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that one. Just because he is such a good manager going into almost a rebuild. I don't know.
Yeah. So. Where he's leaving he's not leaving a rebuild behind.
No.
Maybe this time, though. Maybe these guys need that fresh scenery. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's done well. Like I don't know. And unless they weren't going to pay him, I have no clue. But just the Cubs, and you sound like, what?
Yeah.
I hadn't heard any of that. So, again, I don't know what's going to happen with these other teams, and there's probably not a massive rush to it. But I don't know. It'd be nice to maybe see some newer guys. Vogt's a nice one. That's awesome. Again, local Valley guy, Visalia. And I just like how he played and how he carried himself. And you see a lot of catchers have success as managers in the game. So yeah, still no answers on some other vacancies. Obviously, as the season's now over, we'll see more, I'm sure, coming through the pipeline. New names will drop. Like everybody that I mentioned 3 weeks ago, none of those names are even, like, the Angels have no clue what they're going to do. The talk about the Angels that I've been reading is solely been on Ohtani free agency and reading everybody. It's been a couple, not everybody. I shouldn't say everybody, but some articles about how Trout has just passed his prime, and I get frustrated when I hear that. I don't know what you think when you hear that.
I mean, he's not even 30.
I don't know how old he is.
So, I'm not worried about him. He just has to stay healthy, and he's going to do what he does. So,
do you think he needs to get out though? Because it was between health wise or prime, it was that he needs to be traded, or he should seek a trade or request to be traded.
Yeah, he needs to get out of there. He needs to be on a contender. And that's a good argument too. I've heard out there is Harper going to go down as a better player than Trout just because of what he's done in the postseason. And it really sucks to not see one of the best players to ever play the game play in the postseason.
Trout turned 32 in August.
Really? He's that old?
Yeah. It's not that old, but for baseball, I guess he's been around a minute.
I didn't mean like that. Like,
yeah, no, I got
you.
I
thought he was like 27.
No, yeah, he's 32.
Still, I mean, he'll be fine. But yes, I do think he needs to go somewhere else. He needs to go to a different team. It would be nice if the Philadelphia Phillies picked him up.
I mean, that would be crazy.
He doesn't have to change his shoes or anything, the red and white,
The important stuff. I still, we'll have to see what happens with Ohtani. I would be blown away if he's back. He's not going to be back.
No, Ohtani.
He's not going to be an Angel. And I think at that point, I think Trout, I think it is. I don't know. He's going to go down as one of those guys, one of the best to never win a championship. Because that's a rough list.
Hey, if you put me in the big leagues for 10 to 15 years and I never win a World Series, I don't give a fuck.
Yes, you do.
Why would I care?
If you didn't win a World Series? I mean, I'm not saying you don't want to win a World Series.
Yeah,
but
I'm not saying I don't want one. If I didn't, why would I care? I got my pension. I spent 10 to 15 years in the show.
Couple MVPs.
A lot of millions of dollars.
A lot of millions.
A lot of millions.
That is the name of this episode. A lot of millions of dollars.
A lot of millions. I mean,
I would love to see him go somewhere else. I don't even care where. Well, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a contender.
I mean, you have players that might be some of the worst players ever play in the big leagues win multiple World
I'm not
Series.
saying worst, but look at Will Smith. Did you see that story?
Three in a row.
3 consecutive as a closer or relief pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
That's Jesus criminy. You can't buy that kind of luck. You hit the lotto 3 times straight.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
That's impressive. That's actually cool having like different rings too.
Yeah, well,
like it's cool to win with the same team, but it's cool winning like multiple with different teams.
Yeah, Braves, Houston, freaking Texas.
Yeah,
that's something else, dude. Yeah, I don't know. The Trout thing, we'll have to, again, all of it. There's other free agents out there we'll have to wait and watch on. But yeah, again, I would not put my money on Ohtani being back, and I would love to see Trout get out of there. Do I think he can still help it? I just think that's dumb.
Yeah.
Like, look at Freddie Freeman. He's mid-30s? He might have been the same age, actually. He might be like 33, somewhere in there. Yeah. Not too much older than, but I mean, he had another good season.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, 2023 is officially done. We've had a lot of stuff with the rules, umpires, players retiring. Is there anything going back to this season? I right out the gate, we kind of talked about the pitch clock and all the new rule changes. Is there anything that you've said that, you know what? None of it was that bad. Are you on that side of it now? Like, it worked out, the bases, that kind of shit. For me, I had a bigger issue with the umpiring this year than I did with the rules.
Yeah, I could say that. I think the bases probably be the worst thing. Like, the only reason guys stole bases is because they said there's a bigger base. Like,
well, and the pick-off rules kind of help a little bit.
That helped. But give them the regular base and tell them that they can only pick over once. They'll still steal bases. You know what I mean? Like, you can't tell me 3 inches is the reason why these guys stole all these bases. Like, and I know game of inches. Like, I know people are going to say that. It's a game of inches. Yeah, but, you know, tell Ricky Henderson that stole 1 million bases that, you know, he would have stole 2 million.
Yeah, his numbers would have been different.
Yeah, it's just.
Numbers would have been different.
I hate, that to me is like the rule, like the hit clock and pitch clock and all that kind of stuff, whatever. But you're doing something to make the game easier. You're making it easier. Don't give me this safety bullshit. You're making it easier for these players to get statistics.
Well, you're trying to create more action. Because every professional, well, I don't know, the main professional sports all have a shot clock, play clock. I mean, even golf, you have so much time to look for a ball or hit a ball. Like, you know what I mean? Even in poker, you can request time to make a person make a decision.
Yeah, but what happens now if golf decides, oh, we're gonna do 3 inches more,
to make the hole bigger?
Yeah, more putts are gonna go in. More, you know what I mean? Like more birdies. Maybe now the low number's not 59 anymore. Now it's like
your
55.
problem is the adjustment to the actual game.
Yes,
not just the rule.
Like, you changed the base, which will change statistics. Like just like the challenge. I hate the challenge.
As far as
it's changed. I don't care. I get everybody. Don't you want the call right? Let's get it right. Well,
there's replay for that.
That's what I mean. The replay of the challenge. I don't like it because it's changing the human aspect of it. Whether these umpires are terrible or not, we can't go back to 1912 and change what happened. We can't even go back to Galarraga's perfect game and change that when it's plain as day that it was a perfect game.
That was a perfect game.
That's what bothers me. Is now all this stuff is affecting the history of the game and statistics of the game that past seasons and stuff they didn't have. And it could have changed guys that hit 289 to maybe 300, or this guy stole this many bases. He could have been, you know, a silver slugger, or, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. That's what I don't like about some of the rule stuff. The time clock, the pitch clock, that stuff, whatever. It obviously didn't affect everybody that much. You get used to it. It's when you start changing the game with bigger bases, all these replays.
It's like making the rim bigger.
Yeah, I mean,
shortening the distance from
how many 3-pointers would Curry really have if you change the diameter? It's
yeah, and you're now making. I mean, I guess it's not it depend on how big you make it, but or if you made the court shorter, or you did something to alter the playing field itself.
Yeah, like a football field went from 100 yards to 50 yards.
If you widen the goalposts, in other words, yeah. I mean, there's. I get that, and I think over time, though, because like anything, like replay, I think replay was kind of argued against when it first started happening, right? And then over time, it just kind of people accepted it and moved on, and it was a non-issue. And I think that's what'll happen with all this stuff. All this stuff will become a non-issue. Nobody's going to give a shit. And I think I can understand why. But I also think you should care a little bit because, again, you talked about like Ricky Henderson. And we've talked about it. Like you are changing the record book.
Like what? Like what?
You can't go back.
What Acuna do?
40 and 70, I think it was. And I don't know his final numbers, but
he's like the first guy to do that.
Yes.
So imagine if the bases were bigger back in the day with Canseco, Bonds. Would they have stole more bases? Would they have attempted to steal more bases? Pitchers can only pick over once. Would they have stolen more bases?
Even if they didn't, how many times were they caught stealing? Would that number go down?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like we'll never know because we changed the game for what Acuna did now. Not saying what he did.
No, it's incredible.
Yeah, which we've said on the podcast before. As hell. I'm just saying, would we have seen that already?
If it was if it was so easy, he wouldn't have been the only guy to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was the only guy to do it. It's not easy.
He took advantage of the change. The one pick.
Absolutely.
The bases.
As he should. And most players should do that.
Yes, I agree. But if that happened in the 90s and stuff, those guys have taken the advantage as well, and we would have seen that number hit already. I think yes. Possibly. Because I think people were stealing more bases back in the day. Now, and pitchers also picked over a lot more.
Yeah, the running game was controlled a lot differently back then, too.
Like, that's what's so crazy about Ricky Henderson. Everyone knew he was running, and he still stole that many bases. And the pitchers could pick over as many times as they want. They can throw pitch outs, all of that.
Hold pick. You could do
exactly.
a lot of,
there was no shot.
No limitations.
No. Yes, and he stole that many. That's what's so impressive about it. Not saying Acuna's isn't impressive. I just think changing the game is giving a statistical advantage now.
We've inflated. You're gonna have a bunch of inflated numbers, potentially.
Potentially.
Yeah, I could go with you on that one. Again, the other stuff I really don't. I wasn't a huge fan of the play clock, and I was very skeptical of it. And out of some of the things that happened during spring training, it's like, oh my god, this is gonna be a mess. I really didn't have any problems with it at all. Going to that game in SAC and watching the pitch challenge was actually pretty cool. I don't have a problem with that, kind of, right? Not every pitch, but I think they could do 3. You know, it was some of it actually wasn't so bad. You know, the one I still don't think I don't know if I'll ever be a fan of is the extra inning change.
Yeah,
that's one I just don't know if I'll ever like that. I get why they do it, and again, it's going to be one of those things that over time just it gets stopped being talked about because nobody's going to care anymore. So, but that's one of the rules that, you know, the last couple of years I have not been entirely a fan of. But yeah, award season's coming around today, Monday. We saw, or I think it was yesterday when the Gold Gloves came out. We've got a lot of new faces winning Gold Gloves. And I don't know where I know you came in and that was the first thing you brought up. So you start. You tell me one. Do you want me to read the 6? There was.
Yeah, you can read them. I don't even know who.
Do all of them or just the newbies? Because there was a lot of first timers. We'll start with the first timers. Okay, in the American League, first time for the pitcher Jose Barrios, catcher Jonah Heim with the Rangers, first base in the AL also with the Rangers Nathaniel Lowe.
Thought he was terrible.
Shortstop, Anthony Volpe of the Yankees, his first Yankee rookie to win a Gold Glove. Right field, Adolis Garcia for the Rangers, first time. And utility, Mauricio Dubon of the Astros was the Gold Glove winner, first timer. NL, pitcher Zach Wheeler, first timer with the Phillies. Catcher Gabriel Moreno of the Diamondbacks. Second base Nico Horner, Stanford Cardinal. But a Cub, also first time Gold Glove winner. Third base in the NL, Key Brian Hayes of the Pirates snaps the 10 consecutive wins by Nolan Arenado at third base in the National League. Center fielder Brenton Doyle of the Rockies. Right field Fernando Tatis, who's obviously was a shortstop for a long time. Wins his first Gold Glove as a right fielder. And I always mess his name up. Ha-Seong Kim of the Padres wins the utility and his first Gold Glove. Those are first-timers. There's more guys in there. You tell me where you want me to go. Or where did you start with your least favorites?
I was just looking at this right now, and this is my least favorite.
Or the criteria is the problem.
Quan won a Gold Glove in left field. All right.
For the Guardians.
989 fielding percentage. 4 errors. Played in 153 games.
And are you arguing that he shouldn't have? Or you're saying that's a good line?
Austin Hayes.
Okay.
Left field. 137 games. No errors. 1,000 fielding percentage. So what's the criteria? Are we going off of total chances, games played, you know, because if it's games played or innings or anything, and they all qualify in that aspect, why would you not just take the highest percentage, fielding percentage? That's what's kind of mind-boggling to me, because even if you, so he got it for left field, but even if you go, okay, the other one was how many games? Quan was,
well, so
he was 153 games total. Okay, here's Hayes, 137 in left, 7 in center. So how many is that? That's 144 plus 5 in right field. So now we're at 149. So in the outfield, 149 games played in the outfield to 153 in left field, and he had 1,000 fielding percentage in 149. So in center and right, he didn't make an error as well. So now we're looking about 4-game difference total played in the outfield, and Quan had 4 errors, and he's the Gold Glove winner. Who are you giving the Gold Glove to? Are you giving it to a guy that has errors, or are you giving it to a guy that has 1,000 fielding percentage with 4 less games played?
Well, again, it's I guess I know what you're saying. So just to clarify, this is the how the Gold Gloves are voted. Okay,
He had 4 assists.
Every manager and as many as 6 coaches on each staff cast a vote for Gold Glove winners, but may not vote for their own players.
Yeah, that's standard.
There is also a statistical component that comprises of 25% of the overall vote. So, which seems kind of low. It should be a lot higher. Maybe I didn't read that right, but
I don't know.
Because the other one you said was Nathaniel Lowe. Who thought?
No, he had the best fielding percentage out of him. I just think he's.
What was the other one? You had another one on there. Was it Dubon?
No, it was Volpe.
Volpe.
He had 17 errors
Compared to what
Seager had.
Well, but Seager,
6.
but you go to Seager.
He played in 120 some games.
Yeah, something like that.
Seager was 112 games at short.
Yeah, so you're talking a good amount of game difference there. I mean, so I get that with that one.
Carlos Correa played 135 games at short with 6 errors. To Volpe's.
At least we can say that managers are the ones voting on this.
I guess. I guess then we should be happy, and I shouldn't even argue it.
No, I'm not saying that.
They see him play all the time.
I'm not saying that. But unlike the Hall of Fame, you have people that are baseball
around
people
the game and see the game
and see all these guys play throughout the season. You know, it's safe to say that, you know, are they going to get them all right? Again, everybody's voting here. So you don't know who voted for who.
Yeah.
And what percentage, you know, staff and, you know what I mean? You don't know who did what. So I think it'd be cool to maybe, you know, have a select random players vote for it as well. Again, I still think most of these awards should involve player voting.
Yes.
If not all of them, there should be players who vote.
Like an all-star ballot. You have all 32 shortstops on the ballot, and they go through every team. And you just can't vote for your shortstop.
Right. What's wrong with that?
How difficult is that? Not very fucking difficult.
That's a lot of voting too. That's a lot of different opinions.
Yeah.
Guys that see different things. I don't know. But I do like that it's managers and people involved in the game, not just some guy that writes about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think most of these awards that involve not most. I think all the player awards should involve players and players casting votes.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that'll ever change either, but again, it kind of weird that it doesn't work that way. So, long off season now, dude. Anything that you want to see next year change, or anything happening that you want to get into? I was gonna ask you because we haven't recorded a podcast in a few weeks, so a lot of shit's gone on in the sports world via college football. You know, you've got this Michigan stuff. We haven't even discussed that. No, you shake your head as if it's a non-issue.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's like the Astros. Nothing happened.
You don't think it's a problem?
What actually happened? Because I haven't even read anything on
it. The short version, because it's complicated, and I see
this guy in a Central Michigan hat and stuff too.
Apparently, he was buying tickets and filming sidelines for their signs and then filming the formations. Yeah, they were going.
But that's on every film.
Well, my thing was is why can't you get that video without sending somebody to go film it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Every film would probably have that. Like they film from the booth.
I guess
every sideline shown, every formation.
Yeah, I guess it would be hard to see every call throughout a game. I don't know. He was filming the sidelines.
You know how many
only.
seconds they have when a formation hits?
Because like if you're watching a game on TV and you get that film, you're probably not going to see that kind of like you're not going to see every. You'll maybe see some of their stupid cards they hold up.
Well, you know what? Then give the quarterback.
Hey, that's the answer.
Headset.
Yes, put it in the helmet.
Give the linebacker the headset.
College baseball has electronic.
Yes, you're telling me college football can't afford that?
Of course they can.
Exactly. So there,
they could put them in every player's helmet.
They could, which could happen.
But if it's that big, like getting signs and like even Dion said, everybody's looking for an advantage.
Yes, you're gonna steal signs. What coach doesn't look at the third base coach giving signs?
Or dugout. What dugout's not looking at the third base coach? I'm just
saying, what player or coach isn't having somebody look at the pitcher, like what he does? Stealing signs or little things that are going to give you advantage happens. Now, if he's literally got their playbook and he's saying, hey, they're running
it's like in Waterboy.
Y streak banana lefty hooky and stuff, then it's different. Like, come on, videotape's not going to tell you what they're running.
Well, they were getting the call, right? They're getting all the signs or whatever, and I don't know how they decipher. I'm not a football X's and O's, so I don't know. And then I would assume that they're getting, after those signs, they're getting the formation. And if you do that all game, you're going to have a pretty good idea of what in-game to call or to adjust to. Because you'll see a formation, and now you'll know, hey, this is a run to the left.
But how do you know in that time you see the formation?
Yes, you see the formation.
From the booth, and then you're calling the defense?
Yeah. I'm not sure.
But they're already in the line.
I'm not sure how they do it. I don't know.
How are you calling the defense? That's what I'm saying. Everything happens so fast.
We need a football guy. We need some football people on here to help us kind of. I didn't really care because I don't think they're the only team that's not trying to get like doing that kind of stuff. Like who?
It's because they're winning. It's because they're winning.
Like one coach just said, like he's all what I do know is that they're big, they're physical.
The Minnesota coach.
Yeah, it was the Minnesota. He was like, I don't know if it would have
they're
mattered.
the most sound team that he's played.
They're deep.
Yeah.
Like they're loaded. Like maybe they're just good. But don't sit here and tell me that there's only one team.
Picking signs.
The ones that got caught, maybe.
And then again, who's letting that motherfucker down on the sidelines?
No, he was in this. They were buying tickets to the stadiums.
They had a picture of him on the sideline at Central.
Oh, shit. I had no idea. I don't know. Again, I just thought it was. And I don't know the complexities. There's videos out there that people have been making. How accurate they are, I have no clue. But, like, very complex stuff. And I just, the quick fix is NFL has it. Just put a headset in. Put something in the helmet. Yeah. Baseball's adjusted the game because of the 17 deal. And we know that the Astros weren't the only ones doing stuff. Mm-hmm. And if they were,
we know they're not.
Yes.
We were told they weren't by somebody with the information. Yes.
I don't want to get in. Yeah, I don't want to go too deep into that. But baseball made some adjustments.
Yeah.
College baseball has since made adjustments.
Even in high school, I think you can use the.
I have no clue. Can you?
I don't know.
I don't know, and I haven't seen any high school teams doing.
They should
stuff like that with their catchers. I don't think there's a rule against it. Actually, I have to look into that. I've been out of it for a minute, but again, I'm just saying that those sports, those athletic programs, or the sport baseballs fixed that. It's different now. Why college football is lagged behind that, I have no idea. Yeah. Considering the amount of money that. I mean, if every baseball team in the country can do it in college, JUCOs, you guys did it at City, right? So there's your fix. Plus, people, I don't know. I wonder what the poll would be of people that like Harbaugh or don't like Harbaugh or Michigan, because how much does that matter to the situation as well? Like Paul Feinbaum blew him tore him to shreds. Like, and he's blown away that the Big Ten hasn't done anything, that Michigan hasn't come out and said anything, that Harbaugh's not answering questions. And maybe he's right on all of that. But does he like Harbaugh to begin with? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm reading all this stuff after the fact.
Who is Feinbaum?
He's on ESPN. He's got a radio show. Very, very knowledgeable college football analyst.
That's it.
But he's very deep into the SEC roots.
Yeah, so he doesn't like the Big Ten.
I'm not sure. I don't listen to his show, but I know he talks a lot of SEC football. But mainly he's a college football guy. He contributes to college football. So I don't know. I just thought, we haven't been on in a minute, and there's a lot of stuff happening, like with the Raiders too. With the NFL, we don't talk a lot of NFL, and they fire their coach, and oh my God, look what happens. They go and win. First game out, although they did play the Giants. It's the NFL.
It's NFL.
But I didn't know if you had anything in the news that you saw that you wanted to get into.
Did you see that hockey thing?
Bro. I did. And I don't know if I'm sure there's video out there.
There's slow-mo of it, and it looks like he kicked.
So somebody was saying he kind of got pushed, and then
it's not like that. And you even have ex-NHLers coming out, like I've seen on some podcasts and stuff.
Well, it doesn't help that the guys had some pretty non-favorable comments in the past about him on how he played. I don't know him.
I
mean, it happened on the ice, right?
Man. Yeah.
Like as a spectator, as a player, how do you?
I don't know how he got up. He got up and tried to skate off, and then that's kind of when the video cuts, when everybody gets to him.
Yeah, that was
just a pull.
That's an insane. Yeah, insane story. And I mean, how do you, like you get into the law side of that? Your wife's an attorney; she'd probably be best to talk to about that. But like, how do you prove intent? And
you can't.
Like, it's a weird situation. It's definitely.
But some of the videos I've shown,
tragic,
or I've seen, and seen some players talk about the hit and how his body went, and I might have it. I think I might have saved it. I'll show it to you after this. The video.
I don't know if I could see it. I can't.
Well, you don't see like any.
Yeah.
You don't see any blood.
I mean, because it really he passed on the ice, right?
Yeah,
it happened
his throat.
Yeah, dude, that's
what I'm saying. I can't believe he got up.
Yeah, and it was in Europe.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know the league it was in.
I don't know. I didn't even know if it was NHL or not.
It wasn't. I don't think. No, I don't think it was. Yeah, I did see that story. Yeah, that's
brutal.
Like, you can't ever get that out of your brain.
No.
Although hockey's not, that is a freak moment.
Yeah.
Right? Choose words carefully.
Because, I mean, it was like a couple months ago.
That's never happened on a,
a couple months ago, the guy slid over the guy's wrist. Remember?
Okay.
And he got up and went out quick too. That was an accident because I'm
saying you don't see you've seen pucks to the face.
Yeah. You've
seen some pretty ruthless hits on a hockey, in an arena, but like
those things are sharp.
Yeah, like something like that. I thought I saw a story that they're already working on some way to alleviate from that ever happening again. I don't know what you do.
I don't know how you do that because even the chin guards don't go low enough.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, but dude, what's going on? Even now we're getting just bad news in the sports world too. Jeez.
Hey, did you see
just keep them coming.
Did you see the field hockey?
No.
No? It was back east at high school. And the person is a male playing a girls' field hockey.
Okay.
Slap shot straight to the face, knocked her teeth out during the game. And it was like everybody had to turn away. You could hear her screaming. Like,
I did not see this one.
Deathly screams.
Wow, yeah. No, I didn't see that or hear that one.
So here's another reason why males should not be playing in a female sport.
Yeah, that's I mean that argument of the severity or the danger that can happen in those situations, it's been talked about. I mean, I hadn't seen that story.
I mean, could you imagine CJ playing with Sammy soccer?
No, probably not. Probably.
And they're just 7. You know what I mean? It's like not even like, imagine a grown person in high school.
Although I'll say this, my daughter played mixed last year, her first time playing in under 8s, and I actually thought it was good for her. They got dominated, you know.
Yeah.
But it helped her, and it got her better. So, again, she's 7 years old. It's not the same thing. These are elite athletes in college that have been doing this quite some time. Yeah, that might be a different argument for another day, though. But I did not see that story.
I just saw it. I just wanted to bring it up.
No, I didn't see that story.
I'm not trying to get political or anything.
No, I know. You're not that guy.
I just wouldn't. If my daughter wanted to play baseball, I would tell her no.
Really?
Yes. What do you mean, really?
Just let her try it.
Try what?
Hey, go ahead. Go give it a shot. And then be upfront about what the outcome could be. Not that you can or you're not capable. And let her,
go be good at softball. Like, would you want to play boys basketball?
I would say that her chances of excelling at baseball aren't great.
No.
That's being nice.
That's what I'm saying is like.
It's okay to say that, I think. It should be.
Yeah. But what bothers me too, it doesn't work the other way in college. Like, you can have a female play college baseball or try out for college baseball, but you can't have a male go try out for softball.
I mean, I guess you could, right?
Well, I mean, if you identify as that, but I'm talking about in general.
Yeah.
Like, we see like the girl from Brown.
Like, some dude's really good at softball and he wants to play softball.
There's
a
professional
lot.
fast pitch.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And those dudes
super
throw the ball like 80 miles an hour.
Very competitive. Yeah.
So
like across the country type stuff. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying is
if a dude
there's a reason why there's female sports and male sports. It's to give them the best opportunity to succeed at that sport.
I mean, you could create female baseball, I guess.
Well, you have like the Team USA thing. They should go play our Team USA. Who would win?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm getting. Like, if you want to play baseball, go ahead. Make a collegiate baseball team for girls.
If they want to play softball.
Oh wait, they'd probably get more scholarships than the boys team. You know, like, it's just there's not enough facilities for that. You know, I don't know. I just like, I'll never tell my daughter she can't do something.
Sure,
that's what I'm not saying that.
Point.
I'm not saying that. I will never tell her that, but I will also explain the realities.
Sure, you should. It's your job.
So
that is your job as a parent.
Because I played with a girl that played Little League. She even played football up until junior high. And when she was 7th grade, she got lit up in football. I mean, it changed the way she wanted to do things. And she was a tomboy, and she was actually really good at baseball. Yeah. But then there comes a time where it's like, do you want to, like, succeed at this?
Well, there was just there. Well, so I remember when I was younger playing baseball, it was the League All-Stars. And one of the little leagues we played had a girl on their team, and she was legit. But as you get older, there's no female baseball.
They also mature faster than boys.
Yeah, so what I'm saying, there was no baseball for females, so she didn't play baseball. So, yeah, I don't know. That, again, I think you're right. Like, there's realities to those conversations, and you should be able to have those. Doesn't mean you can't try it, and you know what I mean? More power to you. Yeah. I did not. As far as the field hockey story, I did not see. Before we wrap up,
knocked out.
I do want to say something. You went to, I don't know where you went, but you saw another fan of the podcast,
which was the same fan.
It was the same kid
that you
from Visalia.
Yep, that you saw at the Fresno State game.
Where was it at? Where were you at?
I was at some
Noah, right?
Yeah, Noah.
Yeah, shout out
Noah G. We were at a baseball workout. It's a Sunday workout, and he was there getting some workout done.
Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, good kid. I talked to his dad. Dad's a good guy. Mom's,
great guy.
Yeah, good people.
He came up to me and he's like, "Hey, are you part of the podcast?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, I don't know which way it's gonna go. And he's like, "Oh, I'm."
Why don't you don't know which way?
Because I don't know. Because I'm the hated one. Yeah. I don't know. Is somebody really gonna?
You're Chad, aren't you?
So
yeah.
He was like, "Yeah, I met with Jake at the Fresno State game." I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember you." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm here with my son," and I go see that lefty over there, and he actually has some really good hands and feet at first base. So he was doing the drills correctly, unlike all the other kids, honestly. So,
yeah, well, shout out Noah.
Yeah, he's from Porterville, Manatee area. Works with Carlin Andrews in Villa.
Oh yeah.
So
shout out Carlin.
Yep.
Um,
So it's nice. I got a little shit for it after the picture. People were like, "Oh, are you a celebrity?" Like, yeah, motherfucker, I am. No, but it was
the
good.
autograph session there.
No, it was fun. Good kid, good family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good supporter.
Yeah, no, they do. They love it. Before we go, also Fresno State, some fall ball. I saw this tweeted out this morning. Fresno State baseball will be playing this Saturday, November 11th, hosting Cal Poly at Fresno State. Free to get in, free to park. First pitch is noon. Some new faces on the Dogs this year. Got some transfers. Some guys from the Valley. Went out to a practice a couple weeks ago. Got to see old Mr. Munster, who's a Clovis West High School grad. Cam Schneider from Bullard. Saw some of the other guys, obviously Murph and some of the players from last year's team. And again, there's some new faces on this year's group. So this Saturday, November 11th, 12 p.m., free to get in, free to park. Fresno State baseball taking on Cal Poly. I think Tanner Seguspi's a Cal Poly. Is there any more from the Valley that went at hook off over there?
I think there's another. There's another Memorial kid. I think he was a catcher that went. No, the shortstop.
Noah Beal back from UNLV back
at State.
Clovis High guy. So there's some, and then obviously again I said Tanner. Some local guys to go and take a look at and watch them. Just watch some baseball. So and then 2 weeks away from retiring Coach Batesel and Aaron Judge's number. Again, that's the 18th and 19th football, and then Sunday at the Bulldog Stadium or Bob Bennett Stadium. Sorry, I think that's a noon, 1 or noon on it Sunday the 19th. So some Fresno State stuff getting in the mix. We'll get more involved with the Bulldog baseball in the next couple weeks and as January approaches. So stay tuned for all that. Wrapped up another MLB season, and we'll see what we got going on here in the next couple weeks. We'll get some people in here, but we just appreciate everybody staying with us. It's another episode of Hit or Die Podcast.
Hit or Die.